Do you always believe in yourself? Sometimes we just feel like we can't succeed. We all have negative thoughts. I'm just not good with making money, spending money, talking to women, talking to men, dealing with my parents, being a parent, being organized, going to school. Could it be we don't have the strength to succeed in life situations we encounter? To answer this question, let's look at the Jewish forefathers, Abraham and Isaac. Abraham was a radical thinker who set out to establish a new paradigm for living, a value system that would change the world he lived in. He accomplished this by being a natural teacher, a leader whose commitment drew a mass following. When Abraham died, his son Isaac took over his mission. But Isaac was quiet and introverted, lacking Abraham's charismatic persona and counterculture iconoclasm. Many simply assumed Abraham's mission would be lost, that Isaac didn't have what it took to succeed in the same situation his father did. But this was far from the truth. Though Abraham and Isaac shared a common mission, Isaac's task was different than his father's. Abraham was an alluring expert communicator with an innovative message, while Isaac took Abraham's message and focused in on a new and crucial aspect, the internal spiritual journey. In this way, his own way, Isaac became a cultural leader. People were drawn to Isaac because he gave lasting weight to the new concepts Abraham introduced into the world. Together, Abraham and Isaac's radically different talents and ways of seeing the world allowed them to accomplish their common goal, founding a universal system of morality in the Jewish nation. Rabbi Moshe Chaim Luzzatto writes in his book, Path of the Just, that each person is given the exact strength they need to make it in life. That means no matter what situation we encounter, we have the skills to succeed. And success is going to be something very different for every person. It is not just one road that we have to conform to. Any project, community, or nation needs different people with different strengths. Each of us has something valuable and critical to offer the wider community, and indeed, the entire world. We see from Abraham and Isaac that in every situation we encounter in life, we have the tools to succeed, no matter what those tools are.
There is a culture-wide phenomenon which I've come to call the Great Deception. So many people are concerned about the image that they project to the outside world, about how they are perceived, that when they are asked, so how are you doing? Their almost automatic response is, oh, just great. When very often a more appropriate response would be, well, not so well. Very often we deny these painful emotions, not just externally, but also internally to ourselves, not willing to admit that we're going through a difficult time, perhaps, or that we're struggling.
As children, we gave ourselves the permission to be human. But then we get to a certain age in our teens and the facade comes down or goes up. I can't let them see how I'm feeling, that I'm anxious. What will they think about me? And we hide, and we hide. And we pay a price for it. Because when I don't allow these emotions to flow through me, I also inadvertently do not allow the pleasurable emotions to flow through me. You see, our emotions flow through the same emotional pipeline. And if I restrict the movement of one set of emotions, I'm inadvertently also blocking the flow of the pleasurable emotions, and I do not fulfill my potential for well-being, for happiness. We need a place, a space in our lives where we give ourselves the permission to be human, unconditional acceptance.
This is not to say that we should wear our heart on our sleeves. That's not what we're talking about here. But what we are talking about here is having social support, even a close circle of intimate friends, partners, family, where we can be fully ourselves. It means having perhaps a diary, keeping a journal, and writing about our true and deep emotions, not hiding them, not from ourselves, first and foremost, and also not from those people who are close to us. It's about expressing our emotions. It is about being real.
Living by your strengths is easier said than done, because identifying your strengths is not always self-evident. But there are actually many tools available for identifying your strengths. I actually spend a lot of my life helping people understand this process and really understand themselves, finding their strengths. People tend to use their strengths to create recurring patterns in their lives. To find our strengths, we need to start finding these patterns. Normally this takes a few hours in an intensive seminar. Today, I'm just going to give you a little exposure to the process. Sit down for 10 minutes and make a list of your positive life patterns, including 1. Roles you fill naturally and are drawn to. It might help you to think of times you learned something new easily. 2. Things you enjoy doing that give you energy, even when you're tired. Try thinking of times you felt happy or you felt like you were accomplishing something. And number 3, times you felt like the real you, when you were fully engaged and alive. Think of what you were doing at this time. These points are not your strengths, but they're often indicators of where your strengths lie. Now look through your list and write down what verbs, action items, go along with the activities and events you've listed. Now find the points of commonality between the majority of the items. You will see positive patterns that repeat themselves in many of the situations, reflecting your real strengths and who you really are. Some examples of strengths you might find are social intelligence, love of learning, caring, fairness, aesthetic appreciation, leadership, gratitude, bravery, integrity, self-control, or creativity. Being aware of your positive patterns and identifying your strengths will help you align your future. It will inform your life and the choices you make for your career and your relationships. If you enjoyed this exercise, you may want to check out the bonus material following this class, which explores other ways and also an in-depth exercise to figure out how you can utilize your own personal strengths. Rabbi Yisrael Salanter, the founder of Musar, a modern Jewish character development movement, defined happiness very simply as living your life according to your strengths. The bottom line is that you're made up of positives and negatives, strengths and weaknesses. You need to choose what to focus on, all the things you can do instead of what you can't do, so that you don't lose sight of who you really are. I want to give you the permission to be human, the permission to own up to the incredible strengths you have, to build them and yourself into an incredible person, living the fulfilled and happy life that you deserve.
In a nutshell, the best advice, summing the idea of the permission to be human, comes from the AA Creed, sentenced by Reinhold Niebuhr. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can change, and the wisdom to know the difference. Very often we don't give ourselves the permission to experience pleasurable emotions. And what we need to do is to give ourselves the permission to also experience joy, happiness, and well-being. In other words, reality. Reality that comprises the painful as well as the pleasurable. Reality that comprises sadness and envy as well as excitement and joy. And when I give myself the permission to be human, I open myself up to experiences of joy, of happiness, and I truly and fully experience what life has to offer. And it has a lot to offer.
Once you've identified your strengths, the next step is learning how to channel them. So let's get to work. There is one topic I discuss in counseling that takes up the most of my time, and is possibly the biggest question that most young adults face. Choosing a career path. It's a huge choice, because for so many people, their job is a large part of their life, and very much tied to their personal identity. To invest so heavily into one thing without drawing from and complementing your strengths won't turn out so well. The 11th century author Rabbeinu Bechaye recognized that when it comes to choosing a life direction, money, convenience, and even passion can't be the only factors. Strengths need to be allowed to guide the way. There is strong empirical evidence for the positive results of choosing a career consistent with your strengths. Longevity, a better work ethic, enhanced capacity to deal with the ups and downs of work, and fewer sick days, to name a few. While doing otherwise usually leads to burnout, job dissatisfaction, and discontent. I just recently had a conversation about this with a teacher of mine, a respected expert in the field of positive psychology. We discussed how many people, myself included, spend so much time before, during, and after college learning what we love via trial and error. Have you ever wondered if this is really the best approach? And in truth, our lives are full of small hints and big flashing arrows pointing to our natural patterns and talents. The more we succeed in noticing and deciphering those signs, the less trial and error we will need in finding what really makes us happy. I'm going to show you an exercise that I found incredibly helpful for making informed career choices at any stage of life. For some, this exercise will help you choose your college major, area of graduate study, or which career you'll pursue. For others, it will help you choose where to focus your energy in your present job and how to refine your chosen career path. First, you'll need to draw a Venn diagram. Draw 3 overlapping circles that represent 3 areas of influence: your strengths, your passions, and your needs. Strengths. First ask yourself, what am I naturally good at? What do I really do well? So let me give you a personal example. I've always had a good aesthetic eye, which led me to get my undergraduate degree in architecture. I'm also social and pretty emotionally intelligent. Passions. Next, ask yourself, what really gets me going? What am I passionate about? What would I jump out of bed for in the morning? I find this is the hardest question to answer, mostly because people often get their passions confused with their strengths. You can be passionate about something without really having a natural talent for it. And the last thing, needs. Ask yourself, what does the world need? What problems bother me? Now, that's the tricky one, because it's not what I tell you is needed, or what CNN tells you is needed, but rather when you look around the world, what do you think needs to be done differently? What issues really get under your skin? You may see only one issue that really bothers you, or you may see 10. For example, back to me. I enjoy architecture. I can even be passionate about it. And there are many issues I could solve with building design, but they aren't issues I really feel strongly about. What really drives me crazy is seeing other people make bad choices that make them unhappy and unfulfilled. I have the skills and the passion, so that's what I pursued. Getting a master's in positive psychology. I counsel, teach, and develop workshops that help people live by their strengths so they can make the right life choices. And that's the last step, finding the sweet spot where all 3 of the circles intersect. This is the key to success and the key to happiness in your career. Sure, there are parts of some circles that I didn't incorporate into my career path, and I found other ways to express those talents and interests, but I'm clear on where I really need to focus. We all have a sweet spot in life. Finding that sweet spot is a good way to avoid career changes, burnout, and everyday job frustrations. And it's the best guarantee of personal happiness and fulfillment.